The reason for it is to try to bring social science and art together. They are very much separate, and we think that they have, we can't really talk for the artists, but we surely can talk for the social scientists, that they have a lot to learn from the artists. And so in the old days, sociologists used to do sociology of art. They sort of took art and analyzed it. And we are more interested really in looking at the practices of artists. We think that they are superior to social scientists in a lot of ways. They hear things we don't do, the musicians. They see things, the painters, the photographers, that we don't see, etc. And we would like to learn from them and introduce some of their skills.
I'm a practicing artist. I'm known as an artist. My PhDs are in the sciences, and history and philosophy of science, and neuroscience, and engineering. So, but I'm, known my practice. I've just opened an exhibition at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, and so I suppose what I bring to this conversation is the struggle of being able to account for my artistic practice in a social scientific world, which has always and already been very difficult, and the lack of engagement, particularly with the content and the work of social scientists with art practice. I'd like to see social scientists as art critics. That's essential to me if they want to write, to engage with art practices as, part of an intellectual discussion.
We are living in a time where creativity has become the battle cry of the neoliberal economy. We're constantly asked to be creative. We are taking classes to be more creative, such that we can sell ourselves a little bit better on the market, such that we have to think more critically about the term and the practices that are supposed to make you creative or that foster creativity, because it's also a term that licenses income inequalities. The creative classes are rich and less creative classes are poor, such that we need to think more about what kind of creativity do we want. And that's what I'm trying to say. So it was a little bit a critical reflection on that term, on the practices that are connected with it, and some suggestions about how we can get to an understanding of creativity that may decouple it from the neoliberal economic project.
Part of operating in these really fun and exciting and dynamic worlds means living with part art and part science. If you're too far on one side or the other, it can be a frustrating outcome, but if you're comfortable with that, then that's sort of a great middle ground to be.
One of the things that we're doing here is thinking about how do you set up those situations where people can productively engage, sometimes to do something together, to fuse their knowledge and come up with something really new in a combination. Other times people can get, coming from different disciplines or different areas, may participate in the same kind of event like the one we're doing today and leave with something really productive for their separate fields of activity. So there's lots of different combinations.
Ideally, this is the hope, there are ways of knowing that can come out of these kinds of collaborations that are a little bit different than how we each individually, from a disciplinary or work perspective, approach the world.